Hello everyone. Today I'll be sending you a video about the pelvis. You have already learned different parts of the pelvis and what are the structures attached to it. I'll just show the related structures of perineum, which the theory already I have taught you, and where is the attachment of the perineum. Okay, what are the division of perineum, all the SLOs of perineum, whatever I have discussed in the theory, I'll be showing you now. Okay, let's proceed. You focus in the pelvic bone here. Okay, Rokha. So first, how to hold the pelvis. So this is the pelvis and I am holding this way. You see, I am putting my thumb in the greater sciatic foramen on the both the sides and putting the acetabulum fossa on my palm. So if you hold it like this, automatically the pelvis, if you hold this way, the pelvis is held in an anatomical position. Now we'll check whether it is in the anatomical position or not. Okay, so how to check? We should see the pubic symphysis and anterosuperior iliac spine. They should lie on the same vertical plane. Do you notice this? Okay, you focus from above. Focus from above. So if you notice this, the pubic symphysis and the anterosuperior iliac spine has come in the same vertical plane. That means this is the normal anatomical position. So when without folding the hand, nicely if you hold it this way, automatically the pelvis can be held in the normal anatomical position. Now why it is important to hold it in the normal anatomical position? You will know how exactly the organs, the internal pelvic organs are located and how the openings of the organs are seen in the perineum. Okay, so from above you can already see I have made with thermocol, which I had shown you in the theory class. This is the urogenital triangle and this is the anal triangle. Now you are seeing from inside and I'll show you from outside. So more than that, above there will be the pelvic diaphragm. Okay, so I had shown you in the department with another object like this. Okay, you remember, I hope. In the on the theory class it was little difficult. I think it is good now. So this is a small funnel which I used from my home to show you the placement of the pelvic diaphragm with the opening of the vagina. So where if I turn around, you can see the opening of the vagina in the urogenital diaphragm, and there is another small opening above the vagina, which you can see is the urethral opening. Okay, so now I'll describe each structure separately. Rokha. So before going further, I want to show you some important structures in the pelvis bone. Okay, so as we know, this is the pubic symphysis. Okay, you can see this is the cartilage showing pubic symphysis here. Okay, this is the pubic crest and this is pubic tubercle. Okay, iliopubic eminence, superior pubic ramus, inferior pubic ramus, and this is the obturator foramen. Okay, already you know all this as everything has been explained. I am just showing you so that you can understand the attachments. Okay, now another important structure is this is the ischial tuberosity. Okay, ischial tuberosity, acetabular fossa, and move backside. This is the sacrum. Okay, posterior aspect of the sacrum, and this is the anterior aspect of the sacrum. In the posterior aspect, we want one important structure. This is below the sacrum. We have coccyx. 4 bones fused together, it will be coccyx. Okay, tip of the coccyx is important for attachment of the anal fascia. That's why I'm showing you. Then this is the sacrotuberous ligament. Okay, it is also important for us for division of the perineum boundary. Okay, this is the sacrotuberous ligament attached from sacrum and to the ischial tuberosity, and you can see another small one. This is the sacrospinous ligament. Which is the spine? this is the spine. This is ischial tuberosity. Bring this side, focus here. This is the ischial tuberosity and this is the ischial spine. I have not shown here, I am showing the features here. Now you focus here nicely. This is the ischial tuberosity. From sacrum, this ligament is sacrotuberous and this is the ischial spine. So the ligament coming from sacrum to the ischial spine, this is called the sacrospinous ligament. So for formation of the boundary of the different boundaries of the perineum, you need these two ligaments as well. And again later some more videos I will be sending about male pelvis and female pelvis. That time you will see how these two ligaments are important. Now between these two ligaments you can see a hollowed out structure. What is this area? This is lesser sciatic foramen. This is greater sciatic foramen. Okay. Lesser sciatic foramen is formed by the sacrospinous ligament and sacrotuberous ligament here, and greater sciatic foramen is formed by sacrotuberous ligament. Okay. Now let's come to perineum proper. So what we learned, what is perineum? It is the lower part of the pelvis, okay, isn't it, where you get the openings of internal pelvic organs. Now this perineum, as I told you, is divided into two parts, two divisions, that is, and it is a diamond shaped structure. Now what I told you, the pelvis, the anatomical position is like this. So you see now which part is touching? Only this part, that green area, that is the urogenital part, is touching. You realize now? If you revise the video of my theory, you remember I am turning it upwards like this now. So when I am holding the pelvis in the anatomical position, which part is touching the table? That means if you are sitting, I am sitting now, and if you are sitting, that means urogenital diaphragm is touching the table. So you will be, your bottom will be touching the chair, that is the urogenital triangle. And if I am turning around now, this is the anal triangle which will be obliquely placed. Okay. Okay, understood. So I am turning around now. So what are the two divisions of urogenital triangle and anal triangle? Okay. So as I told you, these are not in a straight line. Okay. This is upward triangle is called the urogenital triangle and backside triangle is called the anal triangle. How many openings? In male there are two openings, only urethral opening and anal opening. Here I have made a female perineum, so I have added the vaginal opening. So urogenital triangle will have an urethral opening very close to the pubic symphysis, okay, and then you have the vaginal opening. And at the back side, or you can show this way also. So if you assume this side, this is the sacrum with the coccyx, tip of the coccyx, this is the anal fascia, or anal triangle will be covered by anal fascia, and this opening is the anal opening. Okay, clear? Now where do you get the perineal body? Where do you get the perineal body? In between the anal opening and the vaginal opening in female, and in male between the urethral opening and the anal opening. So somewhere around here you will get the perineal body. Now what is perineal body? It is a fibromuscular structure that is formed because of joining of 10 muscles. Okay. In male, bulbospongius is a bipinnate muscle, it's a closed muscle, but in female it is a divided into two parts. So if you are asked in the exam or you are writing, you write as 10 muscles because in female it is divided into two parts by the opening of the vagina. Okay. Rokha. Now I'll explain the urogenital triangle in detail. Okay. So here what we learned, what are the layers of you get? One is number one from below inwards. Okay. You focus here. So if we do an operation or go for any operation from the pelvic area, or suppose in dissection part, the person will be put in a lithotomy position. Okay, so feet will be lying like this and the patient will be approached from skin onwards. So first what you remove is the skin. Okay, the skin will be removed, then you will get the superficial fascia. Then what you get first is the Colles fascia. I told you about Colles fascia. So here what you see first, this yellow triangular layer is the Colles fascia. Okay, done. So I'll remove the Colles fascia, I'll turn sideways. Then what you get, can you assume it? The patient is sleeping now in this supine position, actually lithotomy position. You can check what is, or otherwise if I do like this, it is this side. Do you understand? So I'll explain in this way. So here when I'm turning the Colles fascia, you can see two opening. This is the opening of the vagina and this is the opening of the urethra. Okay, female urethra, and female urethra is 2 cm behind the clitoris, I told you. Okay, so this is urethral opening, this is vaginal opening. Now what I'll do, I'll remove the Colles fascia, then I'm putting it to the side. Okay, then what you get, this is the inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm. You remember? So what you are seeing is the inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm. Okay, okay. Now what is this whole white layer or down layer? Actually I have wrote like this, I don't know how. Understood now? I have removed the anal fascia also. You can see here this brown, I had colored brown, here it is looking white. So this is the urogenital diaphragm. Okay, upwards this is the inner layer and this is the outer layer. Between the inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm and the superior layer of urogenital diaphragm, this is the muscle, transverse perineal muscle. Or what is the pouch? What is the pouch between the inferior layer and the superior layer? This is the deep perineal pouch. What are the contents of deep perineal pouch? It is the deep transverse perineal muscle. Before, sphincter urethrae also was called as content of the deep perineal pouch, but nowadays it is said that sphincter urethrae is a part and parcel of the urethral muscles itself. Okay, you understood now? So this was the Colles fascia and that I have removed. Okay, anal fascia I have turned around like this. So this is superior layer of urogenital diaphragm, this is the deep perineal pouch and this is the inferior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. Now what is the other name of inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm? That is the perineal membrane. Is it clear now? So you have already learned when pelvis was taught where the deep transverse perineal, superficial transverse perineal muscles are attached, sphincter urethra. Now you realize now what is this? This is the inferior ischiopubic rami. Okay, inferior ischiopubic rami. You see how it is attached. Okay, now if you see like this, you'll never forget. So this is inferior ischiopubic rami and these muscles are attached to this inferior pubic rami. Okay, so now if this is Colles fascia, this is the perineal membrane. Where is the superficial perineal pouch? So in between these two is the superficial perineal pouch. And if my finger is suppose one of the contents, so it will be like this. Okay, so all the contents that I taught you will be in between these two layers. So superficial perineal pouch is this one. Focus. Between the yellow paper and the green sheet. You understood now? So this is superficial perineal pouch. All the muscles, the nerves and vessels and ducts, I told you I had given a list, that will be between these two. What is deep perineal pouch? It is between this perineal membrane and this superior layer of urogenital diaphragm. Is it clear? So now, so you can see the anal membrane as well along with the anal opening. Can you see? Okay. So very clearly you can see the vaginal opening. Then you can see this urethral opening. My pen, I am showing you the urethral opening. So then this is the anal. Now tell me, where is the ischiorectal fossa? So you see this is a boundary, this is sacrotuberous ligament, this is the lower part of the sacrum, okay, this is the lower border of sacrum, this is sacrotuberous. This empty area, this will be filled up with fat, and that is nothing but, what is that? Ischiorectal fossa. Why? Because this is the anal canal. Okay, this is the anal canal. This area will be filled up with completely fat on the side of the anal canal, that will be presenting the ischiorectal fossa. Now if I put the pelvic diaphragm, that will be more clear to you. So as I told you, so this empty space, okay, I showed you before also, if I am putting the pelvic diaphragm, so this empty space between the tuberosity, okay, sacrotuberous ligament, this empty space will be completely filled up with fat, and that is the ischiorectal fossa. Ischial tuberosity, okay, anal canal, so this area will be ischiorectal fossa. Rakha. So this is about the perineum, division of perineum, and different layers of perineum, and what about the superficial perineal pouch and deep perineal pouch. I hope you understood. Next I will be sending videos about female perineum and male perineum. Thank you.